Teddy K here for Best Buy Plugin, and in this video review we take a look at the Google Pixelbook, a convertible laptop that runs on Chrome OS and features Android apps too. You would be right in wondering about the identity of the Google Pixelbook. Is it a device that you use to consume content? Do you produce content on it? Do you do both? And does it do both very well? Some of those questions are really based on discovery. So it's when you use the device, and I'm speaking for myself really here as I reviewed it, it's when using the device that you start to realize what kind of versatility it has, as well as the limitations it has too, which kind of is tough, right? Because then you have to basically go for it. You have to take that plunge and say, okay, let me get this and let me see if it works for me. But I'll tell you, at least I'll try and give you some insight as to what you can expect. Without question, this is the nicest Chromebook that anybody's ever made. I don't think there's anything that really comes close. It's thin, it's sleek, it's really beautiful. I mean, it's a nice machine. So, but it runs on Chrome OS, and that's, I think, part of the learning curve here. This is not Windows, it's not Mac OS, so you're using a different operating system, and it's not just some offshoot of Android. It's not like it's literally like Android reskinned, and it, you know, and there's going to be some familiarity there. There will be to some extent with the apps, because Android apps will work on here, well, for the most part. I'm going to touch on that in a bit. But you otherwise have to learn how to use the system. Now, thankfully, Google has made it relatively easy to understand and to navigate so that you're not really dealing with a whole lot of mishmash in trying to get around. So from the perspective of what you can do, I'm going to go over some of the things that I did. So I thought, okay, let me try and use this both for work reasons and then also for just for fun. I mean, you know, consuming content, streaming video, stuff like that. The streaming video part, or just the consumption of content, whether it was browsing or anything like that, was very easy. And the 360-degree hinge made it really easy as well, because I could prop it up, I could put it like a tent, I could prop it up and just, you know, oversee it on a table. There were a lot of different ways that I could use the device. And for that reason, I thought, okay, well, this is pretty usable, but it's not new. I mean, we've had 360-degree laptops or two-in-ones for some time. So what makes this one different? Google tried to do something a little different with the Pixel Pen, which I think is still a work in progress, kind of like the Pixelbook is to some extent. You can use it to not only write on the touchscreen, but also to you press the button and get Google Assistant to pop up. There is some interaction between the two. So if you sort of highlight something and then you hold the button at the same time, then Google Assistant can come up and maybe help you out. But it doesn't work on everything, and that's part of the problem. Unlike pens that are used for other tablets, this one doesn't do as much as they do. So as a result, I don't know that it's quite ready for prime time yet. It'd be one of those things that you would buy as an accessory simply because there's some convenience attached to it. From a production side, I found the Pixelbook not bad. I mean, I actually wrote the review for this, the written review for this on the Pixelbook, because I thought, okay, that should be very fitting. If I'm going to review the product, I should probably write it on the device that I'm talking about. And I was surprised actually at how responsive the keys were, and also I thought, okay, you know, these are pretty recessed keys. How was typing going to be on this? And it wasn't bad at all. I was actually quite surprised that I was able to type as well as I was on it. Usually I'm used to more elevated keys on laptops, but this was different and a surprise, really. Same with the touchpad. I mean, to the gestures and just to navigate, I would argue was better than what I typically see in Windows laptops. So kudos to Google there. But on the other hand, if we're talking about video editing or something that's really intensive, the specs in here I just don't think are powerful enough to handle the really heavy duty stuff. So if you're going to do something basic, I mean, basic photo editing is fine. Like, you know, the Photoshop app for Android, for example, does work on the Pixelbook, as do some of the other apps. Some don't, because they're not optimized for the screen size. So you're going to get these weird windows that look like they're meant for tablets or phones, completely making them unusable for you. So by and large, I would say you can be productive with this, but more so in a sense where you're getting some of the basics done. This is by no means going to replace a machine that you need for some heavy-duty tasks, especially when it comes to, you know, media-driven editing or anything like that.
This isn't really meant for that. You need a different machine for that. But if you're looking for something where you can do word processing, browsing, and you just want to get work done, that's not really going to tax the processor inside, it's not really a bad option, but you will have to weigh that with how you can manage with Chrome OS and what Android apps you really want to use on the machine as well. And that's my review of the Google Pixelbook. For Best Buy Plugin, I'm Teddy K. Thanks for watching.